Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick rundown now on somatic disorders. Um, I don't have too much to say, so this should be pretty quick. So, first of all, there are three of them. There's factitious disorder, somatic symptom disorder, slash illness anxiety, and conversion disorder. So we'll start with factitious disorder, also known as Munchausen's syndrome. Um, so, yeah, it's Munchausen's. Yeah, Munchausen's, right. I get confused because the TV show House used to always have Munchausen's as a possible diagnosis that House would come up with for the patients. And sometimes it would be Munchausen's by proxy, which is, well, I'll explain. Sorry. Factitious disorder is like malingering. Now, what is malingering? You don't yet know. Malingering is when you fake it. So say, you get in a car accident and, you know, Sylvester Stallone, a very rich guy, rear ends you, and you know that if you have a real bad injury, you can get a lot of money out of a lawsuit against Sylvester Stallone. So what you do is you kind of say that you hit your head on the steering wheel, and then you start to fake these neurological symptoms, like, oh my gosh, I can't remember who I am, or my short-term memory, I've lost my sense of smell. You make up some neuropsychological or brain-related stuff to indicate that he has caused brain damage in you, and the reason you're doing this is to get money. Or another one would be, you fake some syndrome so that you will not have to go to jail. Because say you killed someone, but then you pretend to have schizophrenia, you're totally psychotic, and so you're faking it. That's what malingering is. You're faking it to either stay out of jail or to get some money. Factitious disorder is like that, but it's not that you're trying to get money, and it's not that you're trying to stay out of jail. It's really that you want attention. Oh, sorry, yeah, I forgot I had a couple notes on that. So, Munchausen's syndrome is like that. Factitious disorder and Munchausen's syndrome mean the same thing, and they're really, you're lying to get attention. And there was a very good Netflix documentary about this, about Munchausen's by proxy. Actually, the mother was making her daughter sick. So she would feed her daughter things that were poison, so that her daughter would have these symptoms and stuff. And the mom just basically seems to have liked the attention of having a sick child. You think about it, if you're really having a tough life yourself, and all of a sudden you get sick and people feel bad for you, they pay attention to you, that can feel really good. And this is another one where we really get mad at the mom there, or even if someone pretends to be the sick themselves. It's another good one to try to have compassion on people, though, because I'm sure if they could do better than pretending to be sick for attention, if they could find some other form of input, they would. But that's the best thing they've stumbled upon. That's kind of sad. So that's factitious disorder. The second, somatic disorder. So soma, we talk about soma, the Greek root is body. So these are all disorders that have to do with your body. Usually factitious disorder, you're pretending something wrong with your body. Somatic symptom disorder is where you are worried about bodily symptoms or an illness. So like it used to be called hypochondriasis. You're a hypochondriac. You're worried that you have cancer. You keep going to the doctor. Every time you go to the doctor, you're like, I'm pretty sure, doc, this is it, baby. I got the cancer, colon cancer. And he's like, all right, let me look at your colon. He takes out his stuff. He gives you a CAT scan or whatever. There's no cancer in your colon. And you're like, oh, you feel this relief because you were pretty sure. Your colon was feeling pretty rumbly or weird or painful, and you were pretty sure that you had colon cancer, but the doctor told you not, and it feels this immense relief. It's really an anxiety disorder because it's like avoidance of uncertainty is really what you're avoiding. And the way you avoid is by getting confirmation from doctors. So it creates this cycle where you keep going back to the doctor, getting confirmation that you don't have whatever. And every time it's like this sense of relief, just like when my mom escapes the spider or whatever. She gets this sense of relief, and her brain is like make sure you escape and avoid the spider next time. And so the person who has illness anxiety is like, make sure you check with a doctor again next time, or you probably do have colon cancer. So you keep going back to the doctor and it becomes a problem for you. All right, last one is called conversion disorder. This is the most interesting one, I would say. And it is where there's a neurological loss of function with no apparent physical cause. And this is what happened to Anna O., Freud's patient. She was blind and stuff, and there was nothing wrong with her eyes, it would appear. So let's zoom in on conversion disorder for a minute here. Conversion disorder is called that. It's called conversion disorder because the idea was, and this is a psychoanalytic idea, that you're converting psychological distress into physical symptoms. So, yeah, for example, a glove anesthesia is where you can't feel your hand. You can't feel the area where it would be covered by a glove, or paralysis of a certain part of your body. Now, it's important to remember there's nothing going on neurologically that anybody can see in these disorders, but it's also not malingering. It's not that you're faking it, or even that you're doing it for attention, it appears. Like in factitious disorder. You're not intentionally saying, oh, I'm going to tell everyone that I can't feel my hand, but really I can. It appears that people who have these symptoms really have these symptoms. So it's very interesting. So is it that they're converting psychological distress into their body somehow? I don't know. That was Freud's idea. I don't think that's right. I look at it more in a behavioral way, which is that think of it in terms of reinforcement. You know, people's brains are doing something where this symptom comes about, and you know, suddenly you can't feel your hand, or suddenly you're paralyzed from the legs down, and that does something good for the person. So when the brain gets into that state where you know you can't feel your legs or whatever, if that's your conversion symptom, it turns out that that's deeply reinforced, and so the brain keeps producing that state. That's how I understand it. And in terms of treatment, the best treatment for conversion disorder is behavioral treatment, where you essentially stop reinforcing the symptom. You stop. Yeah, oftentimes, you know, the symptom is that people they'll be really stressed out in school or something, and they'll have a symptom of, say, paralysis, and then they get out of school. They don't have to go to school anymore and deal with that stressful stuff. It kind of lets you check out of the life stuff that was really bothering you and causing you to suffer. And so that's, your brain keeps producing this symptom to allow you to stay out. So if you force people to confront the painful stuff, or you stop giving them the nice stuff that they get when they're producing the symptom, that tends to make the symptom go away. So that's why I think that's sort of an explanation, is just in terms of reinforcement. Your brain is doing something that's getting it reinforced. There is a good little case study here. This is fascinating, which I'll quickly show you.
Well, Adelaide teenager Holly Longford has had a year she'd prefer to forget, and strangely it all started with a game of netball. From that time on, it's all been downhill, with doctors, chiropractors, physios all scratching their heads about her medical condition. It was finally diagnosed as conversion disorder, something that is very real. Lucy Polkinghorne has more.
Completely lost full ability to walk.
I rely on everyone to help me get food, get change, help drown myself out of the shower because I can't do it.
Very frightening. You just see your child go from a perfectly active teenager to not being able to walk, not being able to talk.
It's very hard, I think, for people to understand, for laymen, for anyone to really understand how it can be that patients can present with such significant, overwhelming symptoms when there's no physical cause.
Incredibly, doctors say there shouldn't be anything wrong with Adelaide teenager Holly Longford.
I was spasming out of control and I couldn't stand or walk. But as I got in for longer, I started to lose my speech.
16-year-old Holly has been living a nightmare existence for over a year.
Okay, so I'll stop it there. But the point is, check it out. I just know we're running short on time. I'm trying to make these videos as short as I can, so you can check that out yourself if you want to. Just YouTube search conversion disorder, Holly Longfoot, I think is her name. You should find it. The rest of the video is probably another 8 minutes or so. But the point being that, she's experiencing, she can't walk. She's got this weird speech thing happening. And it doesn't appear that she's trying to do that consciously, but it's happening. It's very scary for the parents, but that's an example of conversion disorder.